Hello, how are you all doing? Hope you're all well. Today I'm going to show you how I made this CGI. It's quite a stylized render. It concentrates a lot on the lighting basically to make it interesting. So I have separated it into some stages and I'm going to walk through it and explain how it came to be. So starting at the base. This is just a base render, right? I did it a few years ago and I can really see that there's, a lot that I would improve on, but and it took a lot of work in Photoshop to bring it to what it was today. So if you do a better render than this, it might not take you or as many layers as it did for me. But this is the base render, and as you can see, it's really flat. So the first thing that I needed to do was to colorize it and add the lighting and lots of the darks and lights. So this is how it ended up as within the next stage. And what this is basically is a lot of masks, a lot of lighting masks, and a lot of adjustments in the curves, levels, and photo filters. So using the curves to bring out the lights and the darks, and the same with the levels. That is the biggest one actually. And you can find them down here in the bottom right. And then choose them there. I generally use curves and levels. And then I applied a photo filter. And that sort of made that the whole tealy blue effect globally over all of it. So I was just using two main tones, blue and red. So a photo filter again can be found down there. Oh, and in this one there is some vignetting, just to add some more dark tones and give it some depth. And these are just some effects. You can probably Google like lighting effects, lens blurs or something like that. And then all these dark layers is a completely black fill set to color dodge. So if it would be black. Set the blend mode to color dodge, and then with a brush on a light color and low opacity, it brings out the lights like that. I'll just redo that, undo that. So if I turn these off, you can see what it looked like before, and that's just painting some light in, spreading it about. And then that is how I colorized it and set up the scene really for the next stage. So that's the base. Then using some photo filters, the levels, the curves, and some dodge layers to paint in light. That's how I set up that base. So for the foreground, obviously that was quite a dramatic change, but there's really not that many steps. And it is just an over-exaggeration on lighting and atmosphere, because this is a stylized render. It's not meant to be something photorealistic or anything. You're meant to sort of believe it when you look at it, see yourself in there, but yeah, heavily stylized. So let me go find the layers that has happened in. So this layer down here is a reflection. You see that on the ground? That's a copy of the base layer, flipped, mirrored, so it's upside down like a reflection, and put on soft light. And then with a mask over it, which is here, and then I've painted it back through to give it that reflection. Some leaves. Leaves are really important with scale. If you make them too big, it's just not believable. Highlights in the back. They're just little details, but not really something too important. So I'm colorizing it here. That's its original. I wanted to bring out more of the reddy tones into the foreground, because that's all the light is quite red, are these light trails done with the pen tool. Red and yellow ones. So that was drawn with the pen tool, and then with the pen tool I blurred the edges here, the Gaussian blur, and then play around with the blend settings again, sort of make them luminous. There's a lot of mist and atmosphere here. That makes a huge difference. So what this is, I'll put this on normal so you can see what it is, and just hide this mask. So that is a layer of, I think it was a render clouds. No, that's giving me that texture. And then I put that on screen. And then I used a mask again, and then just painted in where I wanted the mist. And the screen blend mode sort of really helps that lighting to bring it all out. Then there are effects on the lights here. I can't find the layer, but if you just put in like lens flares or lighting flares, you can find some good examples and put them over your lights if you want. It works well with a mist, I think it's justified. So that's sort of the foreground. There's lots of layering up of lighting and atmosphere. I just wanted to really light that street scene up. Not much lighting going on elsewhere. This is the main focal point really. The context lights. So these were, I just Googled elevation night or something like that, and found a lot of elevations lit up, and then I brought those in. I just find the layer, here they are. So they were all different photos, so they had different colours in. So once they were all grouped, so I brought them in, you know, and then put them on colour dodge so they light up, and then skewed them, you know, transformed them to fit, you know, the elevations in the scene, like that, and then colour dodge. Okay, and then once they were all in, I just sort of harmonised the colours in all of them by putting a hue saturation, which is down here, and then hold down Alt, and you get the little drop down arrow, and that clicked into the group. So that means that it only affects the group. Really cool. And then I colorized them so they all have the same unity in them. And obviously that was a tealy blue, just to sort of be in the same sort of style as the rest of the image. Okay. What have we got next? Context. That's the sky. Again, just Googled for a cloudy sky. I think there's two in there. And just colour match them and blend them in. And then the people, which are just here really to exaggerate the light again. So that's why they all have these clear brollies that are just reflecting the light really nicely. Great, so he's got down here to make sure he's not a floating person. He's got some contact shadows and reflections on the ground because he's sitting on it. I colorized him. I turned down his brightness so he fits in with the scene using the holding down Alt and locking it into just that layer. That's color dodge. Yeah, so you have to play around with it, have some examples obviously that you like. Generally in a render I'll just focus on 2 colours, just not really to complicate it at all. A complementary colour probably, just so it's already nice on your eyes. All the darks and all the lights need to be at the same level, so all the darks are unified and all the lights are unified. To create the artificial light, brushing that in, it's a black fill on a colour dodge layer with a brushing over it with a light, and then add in loads of atmospherics. So you're just exaggerating everything really. It's real world effects but exaggerated because it's stylized, and that's basically all there is to it. I hope that made sense, and please ask me any questions. Thank you.